Same objective as yesterday. You have a test on Thursday to use systems of equations to solve word problems. It's the same objective as yesterday, so you can copy down yesterday's objective instead of looking off the screen for this. First example, a class of 145 students went on a field trip. They took 7 vehicles, which included some vans and some buses. Find the number of vans and the number of buses they took if each van holds 7 students and each bus holds 55 students. How many vehicles did they take? And how many different types of vehicles? 2 different types of vehicles. They took vans and they took buses. What variables are we going to use to represent vans? V. And what about buses? B. Therefore, V plus B should give us 7. They took a number of vans and a number of buses. Add those together to get 7. Find the number of vans and the number of buses they took if each van holds 7 and each bus holds 55. If each van holds 7 students, then I should be able to multiply 7 by V and come up with the number of students that traveled by van. Then I should be able to add that with 55 times B. 55B is 55 students per bus. The number of buses times 55 gives me how many students traveled by bus. There are 145 students altogether that went on the trip. You can solve this by elimination or substitution. We're going to do this one by substitution. Look at this. V plus B equals 7. You can isolate V or B. I'm going to isolate V by moving the B to the right and making it minus B. When I do that, I can now plug in this expression, 7 minus B, into the V in the second equation and get 7 times the quantity 7 minus B. Close the quantity plus 55B equals 145. Now I can solve for B for the number of buses. Distribute the 7 through there to get 49 minus 7B plus 55B equals 145. Simplify the B's for buses. Negative 7 plus 55 is positive 48. B. And then 145 minus 49 on the right. 145 minus 49 is going to give me 96. Divide 96 by 48, and I come up with 2 buses that were taken on this trip. So going back to here, I know that I took 2 buses, so B gets replaced with 2, and solve for V, the number of vans. You come up with 5. So vans would be 5, and buses would be 2. Joe's Printing, Inc. has 2 types of printing presses, Model A and Model B. Model A can print 60 books per day, and Model B can print 55 books per day. Altogether, Jose has 16 printing presses. If he can print 930 books in a day, then how many of each press does he have? Clearly, we're going to use A and B for our variables. He has 16 printing presses, which means that A plus B would be 16. Then we look at what the presses can do per day in terms of the number of books. Model A can print 60 books per day. And Model B can print 55 books per day. He can print 930 books in one day. Let's solve this one by substitution. Let's use this equation. And instead of A plus B equals 16, how about A equals 16 minus B? Simply moving the plus B to the right side. You can insert this expression in here for A. That is 60 times the quantity of 16 minus B, close the quantity, plus 55B equals 930. And now distribute the 60 through the parentheses to come up with 960 minus 60B plus 55B equals 930. Your B's, simplify those. Minus 60B plus 55B is negative 5B. And then you need 930 minus 960. 930 minus 960 is negative 30. Divide negative 30 by negative 5 and come up with 6. So he has 6 of the Model B printing presses. So A plus 6 is 16, which means that A is 16 minus 6. That would be 10. So your final answer is Model A has 10 and Model B has 6. A class used cars and buses to go on a field trip. They used 8 vehicles to go on the trip. Cars and buses, C and B. C plus B equals 8. 8 vehicles. Each car holds 5 students and each bus holds 50 students. And 175 students went on the trip. Now we can solve this by substitution by looking at this. We can do B equals 8 minus C. And if we do that, we can plug this expression into B here. 5C plus 50 times 8 minus C equals 175. Distribute the 50 to get 400 minus 50C. Combine your C's together. You have 5C and minus 50C. That is minus 45C. And then 175 minus 400. 175 minus 400 is 225. That's a negative 225. So a negative 225 divided by a negative 45 is going to give us what? 225 divided by 45 is indeed 5. Alright, so we can go back to this point here. And we have C plus B equals 8. We can make that 5 plus B equals 8. And B would have to be 8 minus 5, which would be 3. You must write 5 cars, and then for buses, 3. Imani's Printing Inc. has 2 types of printing presses, Model A and B, so we're going to use A and B. Model A can print 80 books per day, so let's do this. 80 times A, and Model B can do 30. And they can print 1,070 books in a day. Altogether, they have 19 printing presses, so A plus B equals 19. So why don't we do this? Let's solve it by elimination. Multiply by 30 on the top to get 30A plus 30B. And that should equal 570. And then you'll have 80A plus 30B equals 1070. I would have to subtract in order to get these to cancel out. 30 minus 80 is negative 50. And 570 minus 1070 is a negative 500. So negative 50A equals negative 500. You're going to divide negative 500 by negative 50 and come up with 10. So if we go back to the top here, if A is 10 and I'm adding that with B to get 19, then 19 minus 10 would give me the answer for B, which is 9. So Model A was 10, Model B is 9.